Two-man game, TMG, get the news fast, AMG, game of two boxes. Name two boxers that hit as hard as this. Yeah, we're cutting to the truth, no, there ain't no narrative. Eyes up on the cup this year, hear the stadium erupt this year. For my team, TMG.
$44
TMG
on a two-man game.
TMG.
This is a celebration podcast for me. Shout out to the GOAT. Shout out to the GOAT. The only, the true, undisputed GOAT.
I don't know about that, but he's now validated his claims. The legitimate claims in my hands now.
And then we have a special guest there. A special guest as well.
Very special. The GOAT in his own right. This man, where would I be? Where would the gender be about him? That goal.
I still get the vibes from that goal.
That goal.
The celebration as well.
Someday still.
Euphoria. Hashtag A. Hashtag last. Like I said before, baby's gonna be named after him from that day. We watched in that couple years, or not a couple years, 9, 12 months, we'll be hearing babies called Lass.
Boy.
I might be, man. My son's middle name might even be Lass.
I'm having kids in school called Arsharin, Beyonce in it, so you know the future's bright, fam.
Why not still?
White kids called Bikayo. White kids called Bikayo. You know what it is? White kids called Lass. You know what it is?
Why not? Why not?
So where do you want to start, man? I'm ready for anything. You know, I told you this week, one of the greatest weeks of my life. Everything I wanted to happen happened. Everything I wanted to happen happened. You know what I said?
When the England lost.
Aye, bro. England win or lose, it was gonna be vibes for me. Because if England won, I was gonna touch Shoreditch. I was gonna join in with the celebration. Yeah. But seeing English tears is just it's a vibe in itself as well. The white man tears. It's something else, man.
You're a bad man.
No, but I was happy. I was happy when England scored. Me, I celebrated sure. But when they lost control of the game, you know what it is. That's typical England.
I mean, there's no better place to start. Let's get out of the way early with what Lionel Messi and Argentina planned or happened to do over the weekend. Lionel Messi winning his first major international trophy at the 10th time of asking. But he dominated the tournament, to be fair. He crushed all the stats as he always does. I told him the greatest statistical player of all time. He is. And now, like I said, I can entertain fully the GOAT conversation or the GOAT claims of Messi because now they're legitimate. Before they were illegitimate, they were premature. Because, you know, I hold people to the highest standard. He's got his international trophy. He's got his success at Barcelona. He's proven he can win anywhere. His success and his ability to travel. I have to give full credit to him. In my opinion now, I think I might just give him the slight edge over Ronaldo. Just the slightest. Just the slightest. I mean, if you still argue with Ronaldo, I won't argue with you too tough. I'll give you Messi. Obviously, I'll give Messi the slight edge, you know? Contrary to popular opinion, I was actually a Messi guy before 2017.
You know how guys feel about you. You know how guys were showing their opinions about you this weekend. I know you wanted Messi to lose.
I didn't want Messi. I wanted Neymar to win more than I wanted Messi to lose.
Neymar did it. Neymar was good in that game, but you know, South American football is
the quality of that game was. It
was basically Sunday League can't even hold a candle. Them man were just kicking.
And that's the thing people forget about South American football. Like, of all the tricks and flicks and the technical brilliance that a lot of players have, there's that side of the game too that's very ugly, bad pitches, just hacking guys out. I mean, it's not all Samba boys and Argentinian flair all the time. You know what I mean, there's some tough guys out there.
It was poetry that after 15 years of carrying Argentina, it was his team. It's his team that carried him to this championship.
Very similar to Ronaldo.
Very similar to Ronaldo.
Very similar.
Very similar. Except for, I would say that Messi probably had more of an impact over the rounds.
Over the course of the tournament.
Yeah, over the course of the tournament than Ronaldo did. But obviously Ronaldo was very, very good in that tournament. I can't doubt him for that. To me, Ronaldo, it's not bad to be the second best player in this generation. It's not bad.
All time, not just generation.
Hey, if you argue with a man here that will tell you about Pele, like.
So I've got a horse in this race. I mean, for me personally, they still got a bit more work to do. But we'll see.
You know what? Messi winning this didn't change my opinion of him. That's the thing. I always had Messi as number 2. It just
number 2.
As number as number one.
Golden slip.
That was an awful slip. I always had Messi as number 1. in my
Which
eyes.
made no sense, but carry on.
Well, I always had him as number one. So him doing this was just more validation to the haters out there. That's it. Me, I don't care for Ronaldo. Ronaldo's a great player. It's good. Ronaldo's always been good. I always respected Ronaldo for what he is, athletic freak, and the work he's put in to do this game. But me personally, what Messi means to me as a footballer is just how natural it came to him, the gift. And then not only that, is that players will normally that have that gift, they don't always put in the work. The longevity is shortened. Like for example,
Even
when Hazard, Ronaldinho,
poor training.
even Neymar. Maybe people are arguing Neymar was waning, and then it's just something. It's just so effortlessly for Messi, and he's been able to adapt his game. He used to be more of a dribbler, a runner with the ball. Now he's become a passer. And so it's just impressive to see his progression in the game, and I'm just looking forward to seeing what's next in football. Like who's going to take over from Ronaldo and Messi, which is the next thing.
Yeah, I mean it's not fair, man. It's not. I don't think it's fair to say, to ask the question who's going to take over. I don't think there is any. I don't think you're going to see, footballers take over from them. There's going to be like the next best players in the world, of course, but I think Ronaldo and Messi are just they're in a class by themselves in it. So putting that sort of pressure, like for example, some people are trying to put that sort of pressure on the Mbappe Haaland sort of rivalry, that sort of thing. It's just not. It's not the same. It's not fair on either of them to try and compare it to Messi, Ronaldo. In it, you just got to accept these two are just
different gravy.
Different gravy, man. Different gravy.
I think what's hurt some people, which was probably the next category of guy, was Neymar Hazard had that target, like who's going to be the one, who's going to win the Ballon d'Or in 10 years, and that 10 years has passed, and guess it's the same.
Zero.
It's still the same guys winning the Ballon d'Or.
Messi probably be favourite for Ballon d'Or.
Yeah, I think Messi probably got it. Jorginho's got a case.
Jorginho's got no case. You need to stop this
No,
nonsense.
Jorginho's got a case.
got no case.
You know how football works. Man won a Euros and a World Cup. And a Champions League.
Do
You know how it works.
Do you want to know why Jorginho has a case? Because Modric won it recently.
Well, Modric was dominant. Jorginho wasn't dominant.
But it doesn't matter.
Jorginho has the trophy,
when there's precedent, people normally follow it.
Yeah, but go back to the guys who kind of outliers in terms of the win. Cannavaro was he's dominant in that World Cup.
But he had, arguably Jorginho was the player of the tournament at US. People have the argument. Me personally, I wouldn't say that. I think he got outclassed in that Spanish game to the point where I looked at him bare funny. I was looking at him funny.
He had a good tournament.
He had a good. I wouldn't say it
It wasn't. I don't think there's at least 5-10 players. Did he even make
Sterling?
He made the team of the team.
Sterling was definitely.
I think Xhaka and Pogba had better tournaments than Jorginho.
I put Donnarumma as Italy's number one guy.
But he's not. The thing is, Donnarumma has no case.
Not to Ballon d'Or, but for Italy's number one guy in that tournament. I mean,
because he won the 2 penalty shootouts.
No, but
it was excellent.
I think Chiesa probably.
Chiesa was good.
Very good.
I mean, if Jorginho was dominant for both clubs, or at least for country, I'll be able to hear it. But I don't know where.
But he was a staple of Tuchel.
He was solid.
Chelsea.
He was solid. I won't say steady or was average. He was solid. He had a good performance,
solid,
especially the second half of the season.
So then, who's if you got Messi?
I think Messi's gonna win it.
I think Messi's gonna win it.
Who's the 2 and 3 then?
Could be anyone.
Who's there?
That's just gonna be Kante. Probably. I think Kante has more of a case than Jorginho.
Yeah, it could be Kante.
De Bruyne, I'm guessing.
It could be De Bruyne. It could be Lewandowski.
Ronaldo's got.
Ronaldo will always have a shout.
If England won, Sterling might have a shout. But
Sterling has no shout.
If England won,
if you're not a starter for your club,
if England
you
won,
could not. It doesn't matter. England, Sterling could have scored 25 goals in that Euros. If you're not a starter for your club, you can't win it.
Performance at an international tournament counts.
Yeah, but if it's negated if you don't play for your club, because how many times has a guy ripped it up at a tournament and then not won Ballon d'Or? Like Closer ripped it up at tournaments. Did he ever have a Ballon d'Or shout?
It's true. I mean, but Jorginho, I'd say if Jorginho gets top 10, I'll be happy with that. Gets 5th, I'll be content with that.
I probably expect to see him in the team of the year.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, if I see him in the top 3,
definitely.
Then I have issue with that.
Luke Shaw will probably make team of the year. So.
He might do, yeah.
Got a shout.
He didn't make Euros team though.
Who's the left backs?
Spinazzola.
I
feel like that was a simple
Chilwell,
because of
yeah, because then they had Maguire, Chiellini. I think
Cancelo.
Bonucci
played well, yeah. But yeah.
And I think Walker was right back.
Walker had a good tournament, yeah.
Because he basically plays. Well. He doesn't actually play right back. I think Walker plays like roaming defender. If there's ever a position like that,
like he's like a super right back. He sweeps out in all the
mistakes.
Like what's his name? that great boxing analyst, can't remember his name. He calls like the great eraser. He just erases all the mistakes. That your team makes.
He was the one when Stones and Maguire made an error.
Yeah.
Maguire was always there just to be on the cover. So
yeah.
that was quite impressive. But on the Messi note, just to end this, it's just great to witness someone like this in this era, man. I hope people take it in because he's not going to be here for long. But
we'll miss him when he retires.
But if he does sign that Barcelona contract, as I said,
I expect to see him sign. Yeah.
As I said,
you gonna bounce?
I have to. No, I'm not gonna bounce from him. I'm just gonna say that his career ended this season. That's
Wait, why?
I said Messi. You can't say you want to leave and then come back to Barcelona. Like Barcelona are actually getting worse. Barcelona in a worse situation than it was last year, and he's signing a new contract.
Where would you have him go?
There's only 2 clubs that can afford him.
Who?
It's PSG and Man City. Now,
you think PSG can afford Messi on those wages?
PSG can afford Messi because Mbappe is not going to sign a new contract.
Mbappe.
If I'm PSG, I sell Mbappe now because it doesn't look like he's signing a new contract and he's in his last year of his deal.
Kylian. Wow.
After an awful tournament.
That is going to be huge if he leaves PSG.
I think he's leaving. Because
that could swing like the pendulum of power like across Europe depending on who he goes to.
I think Real Madrid's in his heart, isn't it?
Fam, I hear some people are saying he might go Liverpool for some reason.
That Liverpool shout is
that scares me.
It's been a shout for like 2-3 years because of the Nike.
Because of the Nike deal, isn't it?
But Nike do help teams buy players.
Yeah. Sometimes they contribute.
And maybe that was in the why Liverpool moved to Nike. Maybe they said, okay, we'll help you with the Mbappe because I know they were part of the Frankie de Jong move. Like Nike actually helped Barcelona with some money with regards to that. And obviously, but Nike, what I was reading that Nike is really streamlining the guys' sponsors now. Like they've let go of a few guys. They let go of Neymar, let go of Lewandowski, let go of Sterling. So they're really focusing on the next generation, and maybe Mbappe and Liverpool is more profitable for them. Personally, I don't care where Mbappe goes, man. Yeah. Go play for Dortmund if he wants to. Yeah. I don't care where he goes from. Mbappe got bare question marks. I got bare question marks.
Teddy Alice.
Question marks?
Yeah, I got question marks on Mbappe now.
For missing a penalty?
No, not for missing the penalty. Just perennial loser shouts. Only
Really?
one cup this year. You know,
perennial loser shouts.
Yeah, I think he's got that loser gene like Kane. You know,
he's one of only 2 teenagers to have scored in the World Cup final.
That's good. He had a good World Cup. That's the only thing that's stopping me from going and calling him a loser. But that's the only thing. I'm stopping him because he had a great World Cup. And he was good in that World Cup. But
what are we talking about here,
last season he was awful. Last season
was he the only one at PSG that was awful?
I think Neymar was better than him this season.
Is there any shame in Neymar being menu across the season?
He got injured for the second leg and PSG fell apart. If he's fit for the second leg, he could.
They still lost the first leg.
Yeah, of course, you can lose the first leg.
And he was non-existent in the first leg.
Did you see what he did the round before that?
The Barcelona thing was very good.
And against
what he did against Barcelona.
What
happened in League? He didn't win that. The Uber Eats League, he didn't win it.
I don't care about that league, man.
He didn't win the French
They've only
Cup.
done enough times, man. Like,
no, come on, man. It's part of dominance. That's what Messi did to Ronaldo. Remember when they were there together? He just
that's a good point. That's a good point. You have to dominate your own domestically. That's part of greatness.
They've won enough time. I'm only really interested in what they do in the Champions League these days.
But Champions League, so he's got to a Champions League final. What did he do in that Champions League final? This is part of the perennial loser shot. What was Mbappe doing in that? It was very poor.
Yeah.
I was there. That's when I started to look at bright lights, and you're actually a guy that now we have to focus on because in the World Cup he was a supporting star. You know, in the movies they weren't putting Mbappe as the front man for the movie.
Now, 2018 was probably Pogba and
he was a supporting cast member.
He was a supporting cast member.
Now he's the main cast. Now he's the main name on the billboard. Show me what you can do.
He had a very poor tournament. One of the poorest tournaments I've seen from a superstar player in a long time. I mean, but I believe he will bounce back. He has.
Of course, he's too young.
He has to bounce back.
He's
far too much.
Did you ever see that boy crying? No. He ain't no name, but that boy.
He was sad.
Of course, he was sad. Yeah, but you don't see him crying. Like,
he didn't cry.
That guy is built.
Killing Mbappe, as Stephen A said. Killing Mbappe.
He's gonna come back. Don't worry, man.
Awful from killing Mbappe there.
He's gonna come back. He's gonna come back strong.
Hey, let's talk about England though. I really want to talk about them. Man.
Okay.
That's you want to start?
Still a little sore still, but Yeah, listen, man. I mean, what I've got to say about these boys in it is that, first of all, what we can't lose sight of is they've achieved something that multiple generations of high quality England international teams didn't achieve in it. Get into a major tournament final. First since what, 66? Beat the Germans along the way. You have to give, like, first of all, Southgate as well as the squad, like, huge credit in it. Now, once you get to the final, and then you go a goal up as early as you did.
Some say too early.
Way too early.
It's way too. When you then start to look at how the game unfolded from that goal, it's disappointing, because it's almost like, instead of going on the front foot to try and really take the game away from the Italians, which England could have done, they sort of sat on that goal, sort of hoped that, you know, being defensively stout was going to be enough to see them through, maybe hit the Italians on the counter at some point. And then you find in the second half, well, literally I'd probably say from about half-time onwards, through extra time, it was literally all Italy. They had all the ball, all the play. England sort of just, you know, sat in, really. And then, once you get to penalties, it's a lottery. And obviously, like, it's really sad to see, you know, how it all unfolded in it. I mean, Saka was, you know, sort of like a bright light during the tournament, had a couple excellent games in there, and it's sad to see, obviously, him take the 5th penalty. I mean, questions have got to be asked of Southgate about that selection. You know, Kane going first, fine. Maguire, I'm sure he would have volunteered to go second, fine. But once you get to the 5th penalty, especially after Pickford saves from Jorginho like that, when you know that 5th penalty needs to be scored to stay in it, I think for the England squad and the manager to allow the second most inexperienced player in the squad, probably just behind Bellingham, to take that pen, for me, it wasn't fair on him, and it's a shame that he missed. It's a shame. He'll bounce back. I'm sure he will. But to have that now sit on him, obviously for the
rest of his career, man.
You see, until England hopefully go on and win, you know, a major trophy, either at the World Cup or Euros further down the line, it will sit with him for the rest of his career, innit? So
it's such a nice guy, man. It's unfortunate that it is.
It's unfortunate still.
I heard people were saying if you're left-footed, it's harder to take pens this week. Evidently, I do feel a lot for Saka, because my goal has missed a couple of pens in major moments as well. So, the best players miss pens. I'm sure Ronaldo's missed a lot of pens.
Ronaldo's missed pressure penalties.
Messi misses pens. Kylian Mbappe, he missed a pen this tournament.
It happens.
So, like, no one's got 100% penalty record. Even Jorginho went there. Someone that people say is a great penalty taker.
Balotelli's missed penalties.
Missing penalties is not a crime.
Or pen at least.
The only guy I know that's been 100% is Maitland-Niles. Can you imagine of all the players that we're talking about? It's only him.
Even Shearer's missed a penalty.
So people miss penalties. Like, I have nothing against Saka missing a penalty. Him stepping up to take it 5th, it shows me it's brave. That's a lot of credibility. And in fact, don't even look at it as a negative. Just look at this as you took the responsibility. You're brave. And that can actually help you in your career. The tears, obviously, you cry. If you want to cry, you're young. I don't think he should have cried. Rashford and Sancho did not cry, and they missed. Saka crying was obviously, it was an emotional to him. But if you use this as fuel, like, the best players use their greatest letdowns as a fuel for, like, okay, I'm going to get better. I'm going to get better.
I want to feel this feeling again.
Yeah. And that's something that he should do, like, use it as that fuel.
Look at Mayer, he got robbed of gold in the 1996 Olympics, and he became the greatest ever.
I saw the video as well, he was crying.
Use it as fuel.
It's
come back even stronger.
The fear of failure.
Yeah. Sancho's pen was the worst.
Sancho.
That was actually, by far of all the pens, that was the worst.
It was the same placement as Saka's, to be fair.
It was the same place, and Donnarumma was diving early anyway. So that I don't blame Rashford for his miss, because I think Rashford was being too fine. It was too cute. Like, you beat the keeper. You're beating the keeper. You're sending him the wrong way, but you're trying to put it right in the...
But that's what Donnarumma does. And
He looks so
He
good,
nearly
though.
saved Kane's penalty. That's when I was like,
He nearly
boy,
saved Kane's
that is scary,
yeah,
son.
even though we scored, but that must have struck fear to the other guy. Thinking you have to put this him. That's what, and he struck fear in the right way to Maguire because Maguire bends his pen. But against Donnarumma, the behemoth, 6'5", I don't know what his reach is, but his reach is amazing.
Yeah.
And a good goalkeeper he is, and a great goalkeeper he is, and I think he'll end up being an all-time great goalkeeper.
Nah, nobody's PSG.
I think he will, barring injury. You have to put that pen.
You have to combine that though with if it, at PSG, he's going to win multiple.
Yeah.
It's gonna be I heard that Navas is the number one.
We'll
Regardless,
see how that goes. But you have to put your pen into the corner. You don't the corner side end. If you dive that way, you have to bend it.
I don't think.
That's what the pressure does.
That's what he does because of how big he is.
I don't think you have to put
bend
it right in the
You
corner.
have to bend
You
it.
have to.
I think
he
I
does
think
the right way,
you
he
have to
saves it.
You have to put it with force because the penalties were side-footed penalties. They went with conviction.
You have to bend it. That's what Donnarumma does. I mean, it was sad. It was sad. I mean, my only issue with what the penalties is the selection, like I said, of how Southgate went about it. Obviously, the players they choose and they've gone through the analytics and the training and blah blah blah. Even though they can try to recreate the atmosphere as much as possible in the moment after training, everyone's tired, but it's not quite the same. They have all the analytics there saying this guy scored many penalties. This my penalties are best penalty taker. I just feel cool. You got on Kane first. I don't really mind that.
It's fine. Take
Kane has to be- I think Kane has to
That's
be
fine.
fifth.
I don't mind that.
It doesn't you can be fit first or fifth, fair enough.
First or fifth is fine.
Maguire is one of the most experienced players. He seems to be a good penalty taker. I didn't know that before, but with that way he bends that penalty, him second, maybe not, maybe go third. But then again, Rashford is a decent penalty taker. I think that's what kind of messed up because you put Rashford third, and Rashford, you backed on Rashford to score. Even though he's missed a couple, but you would have had more
If you
faith in
swap
him.
Rashford and Saka,
Yeah,
Apparently, Sancho's takes pens for Dortmund. Sterling missed his last 3 pens. He hadn't stepped up. Grealish missed the pen, hadn't taken a pen in the whole season, and the last pen he took, he missed. And that was it. The rest of them have never taken pens before.
I just feel you want to put Saka. He's probably done well in training in terms of taking penalties, and he's probably volunteered himself.
completely different.
You can't force someone to take a penalty, but you can't put him fifth.
I'll put Grealish. Grealish should have taken a penalty because
I don't mind Saka taking one as third or fourth. You can't put him fifth.
I don't believe Saka is a good ball striker. Saka and Sancho are not great ball strikers to me. I think Grealish is a better striker of the ball.
Southgate would have seen them take pens in training.
But-
I think
but
that's what he said, isn't it?
But and also one thing I wasn't happy with is that you brought on players cold. Like, do you know in the NBA
Yeah.
Completely agree.
when they bring a guy a 3 points, man has not even had a full of the game. You just put him in the corner
Completely agree.
and take the shot. Don't do that. It just always seems to backfire. Like when it's only like a masterstroke if it works, but when it fails, which it often does.
You combine that with the fact that it wasn't just that they were cold in the final. The minutes that they had across the whole tournament, really.
It's really
There were hardly any minutes, really.
No momentum, no rhythm.
Do you know what I mean? There were probably times and opportunities as well. I mean, obviously, he rotated and brought a few players that didn't have many minutes on in the Ukraine game, second half. But the game I'm probably looking at is the last group game where you know you've already qualified. That's probably the game you could have given a few more minutes just for guys to... Because at the same... You've got to remember, like, because you don't give these guys minutes, it means that in terms of like match time and actual, real sort of match time, these guys won't have played for over a month.
Yeah.
They are seriously cold compared to the guys that will be in and around the team playing regularly throughout the tournament. So
I like not only that, it's that I had a lot of issues with Southgate substitution patterns, and then his feel for the game. I don't feel like Southgate had any feel. He doesn't have any. I don't think he has any feel for any game. I think he's very predictable with his substitution. He had come in with the idea like, okay, if I need to make a change, my first sub is Grealish, and it's gonna be for Saka regardless. After that, he didn't know that Henderson sub was just. I think that was completely random. I don't even know why he brought Henderson.
when he came on, you mean?
Yeah, he came on. I didn't get the rationale.
Energy in the midfield, to be fair.
I didn't get the rationale. He hadn't played him. He hadn't played him like that though. He hadn't played him the whole tournament. You don't bring Henderson on for that.
Yeah,
I
but
thought Henderson
the
was
midfield battles
started.
were lost. You need to do something, change something different there. So I can see why he done that. I mean, me personally, I would like to Bellingham get more game time, but maybe he was a bit too young. Who knows?
He's too young. Obviously,
But-
Southgate's got pragmatic. It's
But
pragmatic. He
to be
went to the
fair,
guys he trusted.
I mean, at the end of the day, if you ask me who would win on penalties, England or Italy, I would have said Italy. They have the better goalkeeper and have more technicians. And it seems like they have more guys that will take penalties or willing to take penalties. Like Berardi's a great ball striker. Belotti takes penalties even though he missed. Jorginho, obviously, he's a good penalty taker. He missed. Bonucci's there.
Bonucci struck that
Who else is there?
with-
Benedeschi's there. Chiesa is there. I mean, England's Harry Kane And then who else? And Rashford. But Rashford missed a few penalties. But who else actually takes penalties? Who else is known?
That,
Who else is known for being a penalty
And
taker?
Kane already missed in the semi
Yeah,
final.
Messi as well. Like,
himself, yeah.
who else is actually known for taking penalties? There's no one.
I think Kane had an awful tournament, to be honest.
I think he should.
awful tournament.
I think he.
Awful, yeah.
I think
Without the Ukraine game, really look at what he did in that tournament.
he was good in the first half against Italy. Second half he petered out, and from there on, I
It's
feel
difficult.
Denmark. He scored. I think he was alright in the end. I'll give him a below average, or roughly average.
Kane is so lucky. He doesn't really have bright lights on him because if he had swapped it round, Son had a great tournament. Awful final.
Yep.
Awful final.
Yep.
Had a great tournament, but I think Kane gets away with a lot. He got away with a lot this tournament, as in like he's the captain, but I don't think he's a real leader. I think Maguire's more of a leader than him, and even Sterling probably has more say in the dressing room than Kane. Kane is just really wasn't that impactful with this tournament.
Kane will be more of the lead by example type.
Yeah, kind of player. And I don't think the way he played really helped the team. Like him dropping deep into spaces, it kind of hurt them against Italy because Kane is okay.
First off,
it was in the first half. I think it was good, but Kane dropping deep into space, he doesn't affect the CDM. He doesn't actually affect the CDM when they get the ball. Like, do you know when someone drops in there, you think, okay, that's an extra body in midfield. Kane is not an extra body. He doesn't do he's not doing the pressing. Mount sort of dropped into that space, bothered Jorginho, and Italy just once it was a 2-against-3 battle in that midfield, it was over.
Middle of the park,
Yeah, it was over. Like Mount, I thought the reason Mount was going to play was to stick on Jorginho.
Sit on Jorginho.
Yeah,
he played it right hand side, didn't he?
It was there on the right hand side. It didn't help. It didn't help.
I mean, the way England played, obviously, first 30 minutes was good. Got a goal, press well, and after that went into their show defensively. I would have reminded that if there was a counter-attacking threat, there wasn't any.
Sterling was supposed to.
Kane
be
isn't the counter-attacking forward though, is he?
He's not. Mount's he's not slow, but he's not got pace. Sterling still really offered the pace, and Sterling wasn't quite at the races. And the counter-attacking threat wasn't really there to be there. We didn't really expose it. I mean, because we could have exposed Italy. Italy is slow at the back. Chiellini and Bonucci, the pressing high. There's spaces behind them.
Chile and Bonucci they were tactically fouling. Like the understanding of the game was just beyond. That's how Saka. He just had no way, bro. I'm bringing you that because a lot of guys would have pulled, but not pulled him to the ground. They would have pulled. Saka would have gone. Chile said, "I'm not taking no chances.
No chance.
Looking easy.
Yeah,
Looking.
it's just part of the game.